Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a little crochet challenge. So I am leaving in 3 days to go on a little trip over the course of the weekend, which means I will have a couple less days in the studio this week, but I still don't want to fall behind on market prep like too much because I feel like the past few weeks I got a lot less done than I thought I would get done. So I thought to myself, why not challenge myself and try and make as many plushies as I can in the next 3 days. It's currently Tuesday. I'm leaving Thursday night, so that leaves me basically today, tomorrow, and Thursday afternoon-ish to work on plushies. And I thought to myself the challenge would be a little more fun if I actually put like a concrete goal behind the challenge. So I thought, why not try and make 200 euros worth of plushies in only 3 days while I'm also working my job. So I only really get the afternoons and the evenings to crochet on plushies. So we will see. I've never really done a challenge like that to try and make a certain value of plushies in a couple of days. So we will see how that goes. But I'm really excited to try and see if I can accomplish that. So basically, if we are splitting it up into 3 days, that means each day I should make 66 euros in inventory, which already kind of sounds like a lot, but we will see if I can get that done. So let's get started on that. I've already thought up a couple of patterns that I really want to make in the next 3 days. So let's get into those first. I'm actually giving myself a little bit of a head start because yesterday I started working on some plushies that I haven't finished up yet. So let me show you those first. So first of all, the first work in progress that I currently have is actually pretty far done already. So that is like a nice little head start that I'm giving myself. So first of all, we have this giraffe body that I made. I started that on Sunday and I worked a little more on it yesterday, so it's completely finished. But as this is a quite detailed pattern, we still have quite a lot of little details to make for that. So first of all, I was working on the head. So I've already started to work on that. So this is what it's looking like so far. But then I ended up running out of yellow yarn and I didn't have any more back at home, so that is why I stopped working on this project. So we still need to finish the head, we still need to make the ears and the two horns, and I think that this pattern actually also includes a tail. Yes, so we still have to make the head, the ears, the horns, and the tail. So 6 more pieces that we all have to sew together. So there is still quite a lot to do for this giraffe, but once it's finished, I will have made quite a good start in reaching the 200 euro goal, because when I made the giraffe the first time around, I sold it for 45 euros. So that is quite a good chunk of the 200 euro inventory goal. So that is what I will be working on probably today. And then when I ran out of the yellow yarn, I still had a little bit of time yesterday, so I started working on a brontosaurus, and this is how far I have gotten with this one. So this is like a very bright orange. Not sure if it's like really coming across on camera how bright this one is, but I really like this color. I've made this color brontosaurus before and they sell pretty quickly, so I wanted to make one again as I don't have one in my inventory right now. So this one also has quite a lot of it done already, so we still need to make the neck and the head and then also the tail. So this should take me like 20-ish more minutes or so. And I think I will actually start out with this one just because I think I can realistically finish that one tonight. And then we will see how much I can get done with the giraffe. I have also a couple of other plushies that I really want to make over the course of this challenge. So yesterday I actually had a pickup order for 2 mallard ducks and 2 popping mushrooms, 2 red popping mushrooms. So I sold those, which means I now have more in my inventory tracker than I actually have in my inventory. So I use this market prep planner And I always like fill out when I finish a plushie just so I know how many of those I have in my inventory and also like what colors. So personally for me, if it will focus. So personally for me, it makes the market prep process way easier because I always know like what colors to make next. But that also means, and that is something that I want to improve on in the future. It also means like once I have actually put something into the market prep planner and I then sell it, like not at a market, but like online or like yesterday at an in-person pickup order, I have tracked it, but I don't have it in my inventory anymore and I can't like really cross it out easily. So I think just to solve that issue, I will work on 2 red popping mushrooms and 2 mallard ducks over the course of the 3 days and finish those so that this matches my actual inventory again. So that is the plan. But for now, I will actually start working on the Brontosaurus and then we will see how much we can get done on the draft today.
It's hard for me to be somewhere for too long. I'm always moving around, but as long as I'm on the same page as you're on, no point in slowing it down. 'Cause anywhere I'm going, if you're the one I'm holding, I could be anywhere. Long as you're beside me, tied into Hawaii, I could be anywhere. I just need you there. I need you there. I need you there. I need you there. I need you. We could be floating a boat in a bay. We could be at home in a haze. We could be driving a silver Mercedes.
Okay, friends, so the first plushie of this challenge has been finished. So I completed the orange Brontosaurus. So here he is. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I really like this orange color for the Brontosauruses. I think that this like really stands out because it's just so bright on my table. So I'm super glad I got this one finished. And I sell my Brontosauruses for 22 euros. So that means that should be like 11% of the challenge done. So pretty good start so far. And for now, as I said, I will be working on the giraffe some more. So at least on the head, I'm not like feeling up to sewing anything today. So I think I will focus on making all of the pieces now. And then we will see if I start to actually assemble this one or like move on to some smaller plushies for now and leave the sewing up to tomorrow. But for now, I will need to grab a yellow skein to keep working on this one. So let me do that. Okay, friends, so as you can probably tell from the lighting, it is quite a bit later now. It's almost 9, it's 8:45 right now. And I have finished with all of the parts for the giraffe. So the body I already had, and then I have finished the little head, or not so little head. This is actually like quite a decent sized plushie once it's all finished. Like, this is probably one of my biggest plushies in my booth. So I'm glad to be working on that again, to have a couple of like bigger attention grabbers in my booth again, because I tend to make a lot of mini plushies or like smaller sized plushies because they tend to sell the best for me. But I always need to have a couple of bigger pieces as well to grab attention and make people like actually enter my booth. And I think that this actually has a pretty good chance at selling at even like the first market I'm doing in October. So that's like my next market coming up, because that market will be a huge market where people pay an entrance fee. And last time I did a market like that, people actually tended to gravitate towards bigger items. So we will see how that does at this market. I'm certain that if it doesn't sell at the first market, it will sell throughout the season because we have a ton of markets coming up. So I'm not worried about it not selling. But I have finished all of the pieces. So we have the two ears right here. We have, let me see, those are the two horns, and this is the tail for the giraffe. So everything needs to be sewn on, which I am probably not going to do tonight. I'm not like really feeling like sewing a whole ton tonight. I am about to head out of the studio for today, and I think I can still make a couple of mini items for tonight. Just something easy, like possibly my two popping mushrooms that I'm currently missing, or some baby whales or something like that. I'm not gonna make any baby octos for this challenge because, as I said, I will be going on a short trip, and of course, I will be taking some yarn in the car with me. And baby octos are probably the easiest thing to prep in the car because it's literally one color and you can make the whole body and just leave them unstuffed for now and don't have to worry about like color changing anything or taking eyes and stuffing and stuff like that. So baby octos will be number one on my list to make on my trip, like in the car. So I will not be making any of those during this little 3 day challenge. But I think baby whales and my two popping mushrooms will be the focus for mini items in this challenge. So we will see how much I can get done tonight. I'm a little bit of a night owl, so I think I still have around an hour or so to work on some plushies. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow and show you how much I got done. Okay, friends, so I'm back at the studio. It's now the next day, which means it's now day two of this challenge. And honestly, I'm not really sure how realistic it still is for me to actually complete 200 euros worth of plushies in just 3 days, but we will see. I didn't make a whole ton of process last night, so let me show you what I got accomplished last night. So I did not end up sewing the giraffe. We still have all of the parts, so that's definitely something I want to get done today so that I feel like I've made a bigger progress on this challenge because that is quite a big chunk of inventory once I have that one completed. But last night, I finally went ahead and started working on a category on my market prep planner that I've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. So I am still currently missing just a couple of bees. So only 5 more bees until this category is completely filled out. And I've been talking about making them for the past couple of weeks. And last night I finally sat down and worked on a bigger bee. So this is what I made. This is the little bee. And last week I made a keychain bee in this color for the very first time, and I really like that one. I think that one is like my new favorite bee chain color, so I wanted to try it out in this size of bee, so the slightly bigger size that doesn't come on a keychain. But honestly, in this size, I don't really love it a ton. I like it a lot better in a smaller size, so like this. I like it quite a lot better. I think that one looks really fitting, but for some reason I really don't like this color in the larger size. So I think for now this will be the only one in this color, which means there's only 4 more to do in the yellow and black. So that was like a little bit of an experiment, and we will see if people end up really liking this color. I might make a couple more in the future in this combination, but for now I think I will stick to the regular yellow and black. But that was the only plushie I finished last night. I then ended up working on another keychain bee in this gold and black. because, as I said, this size I really like in this color, so I want to make a couple more of those. So that's what I ended up starting to work on, and the body is completely finished. I just need to close it up and make the wings, sew those on, and attach the keychain. So for now, I only have 8 more euros of inventory prep, which means that we're now just at 30 euros after one day, which is not enough. So the game plan for today is I have to leave to go to the store in around an hour before it closes because I need to pick up a couple of things before our trip. So that is basically the studio time I get for today. And then, of course, I will be crocheting a little more tonight and show you that tomorrow. But while I'm here, I think I will start out by working on the giraffe and hopefully sewing that one up completely and like finishing that one up. And then we will see what else I get up to do while I'm over here. I'm not sure how long sewing up the giraffe will take me because I usually always underestimate how long sewing pieces takes me. So let me start on that and we will see what we get up to.
I'm not good at dancing, so just be with me tonight. Wanna taste your chapstick? Call it mango sugar high. I'm sorry, I need space now. I forgot just how to breathe. Catch me scraping barrels for a reason just to leave. I just want to forget about the things I had to do. Turn my floors to trampolines, levitate right through the roof. I switch gears like a stick shift.
Okay, so my desk is now covered in fluff, but I have completed the giraffe. So here it is. I think it looks absolutely adorable. I really, really like this pattern, and I hope that she gets adopted pretty quickly at my fall or winter markets because I actually really like making this pattern, even though like it's a little more complex. Every now and then I get like the urge to make a more complex pattern like this, and I'm really happy I got to make her again since she sold at one of my last markets in the spring. So I was in need of another giraffe, so I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I also think this one has way less of a floppy neck than the first one I made. So this time when I was sewing the head and the neck together, when I had like a little hole left, I put a little more stuffing in there just so it's a little less floppy. Like obviously it's still gonna flop around a little bit because it's such a long neck, but like it feels a little more stiff this time, which I like. So this one is done. I will put her to the other two completed plushies, and this means that we're now up to 75 euros worth of inventory made in this challenge, which honestly feels a whole lot better than before. So I'm super glad that she is completed. This took me like half an hour to sew up though. So I now have half an hour left to work on some plushies while I'm over here in the studio. So obviously the first order of business will be to finish up this bee chain. So that is what I will be working on next. This shouldn't take me a super long time, just making 2 little wings and adding the keychain. So let me do that and then we will see what else we can work on today.
Pick a movie, I'll pick you up, we'll go eat sushi. Or we'll go downtown. With our best moves we can boogie. Oh my, we both look so fly like sweet apple pie. Yeah, they want a piece of us. My, when we drive on by, they just can't deny. Yeah, they wanna be.
Okay, friends, it's now a little while later, as you can tell by the lighting. But honestly, I think this is the first time I'm filming in here with the overhead lights on. And so far, like I will see later on, but so far, I think it's looking pretty good. And I got super lucky because I did not change out these lights. Those were the ones that were in the studio when I got it. And I think they look pretty good on camera so far. So that is a plus because I think like lighting is actually not that easy to figure out. So I'm glad I didn't have to figure anything out for that. And I just got this good lighting in here. But I wanted to show you what I have been working on since I last spoke to you. So as you saw, I finished this little golden bee on a keychain. So that is the second one in this color combination done. And as I said, in this size, I like them way better than this size. I don't know what it is, but I just think these look way cuter. So that is what I got done. And then I also made the two little red mushrooms that I have in my inventory tracker that I don't still have in my inventory. So I finished those two, and that is pretty good for now. I've decided I will not be making the mallards that I'm missing currently. I will make those on the drive to Italy because those you can pretty easily make while on the go. So I will take the yarn for those on my trip. But for now, I'm heading out of the studio. I really need to leave. And of course, I will be working on some more plushies tonight, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow for day 3 of this challenge. And we will see how much I got accomplished and if we can actually make 200 euros worth of plushies in 3 days. Okay, friends, I'm now back at the studio for day 3, aka the final day of this challenge. And honestly, I'm not really sure how possible it still is for me to hit the 200 euro goal, but we will see. I don't really know how much time I have left until we leave for vacation. I have just finished my workday and I am now waiting for my boyfriend to get home so we can get going. So it should be like an hour or an hour and a half until he gets home. So that is basically all of the time I have left for this challenge. So before we get back into the challenge, I wanted to show you what I got accomplished last night when I got home. So I actually got quite busy yesterday evening and I made quite a lot of plushies because I thought to myself like this goal is quite ambitious and what would give me like the best chance to actually hit the goal. And I decided to make the quickest plushies I have in my market inventory, which are these little whales. So this is what they look like. They're pretty simple to make. They're basically just 9 rounds, no sewing, the quickest plushie I make for my kids, and I think these just might be the thing that make it the most realistic for me to actually complete the challenge. So I started working on these. I still have a lot of them to make. They have been selling pretty well at my spring markets, so my market prep planner for those is actually quite empty. So this is the category for the whales. I counted it last night and I have 29 that I need to make to have all 50 of them in stock again. So definitely enough for me to just keep working on those whales. So that's what I started to do yesterday. So I made one in this medium blue and then I ran out of this yarn color back at home. So I switched to dark blue, which has been super popular at the spring markets. I only have one of those left in stock and I think they look like very luxurious. So I made all of them that were missing. So 4 of those little dark blue whales. And then I decided to cross off another color of these baby whales and I made 2 bright pink ones. So those were all of the ones that were missing in this color. So these are completed as well. So let me now put them into the market prep planner. And my goal right now is to just keep working on whales until my boyfriend is on his way home from work. And then we will check in and I will count out the whole inventory that I was able to make in the last 3 days and we will see if I was able to beat the challenge. So let's start by working on some more of these whales.
I don't wanna call you later. You're tearing my heart up like it's paper, and somehow you turn to a stranger. We used to work, now I'm trying to make sure that we're both on the same page. I don't want it to complicate. I know you're riding away. Is there room for us both on the same wave? Nothing breaks so clearly when there's love on the line. My best friend told me someone that I don't even like. There's nothing left to fix if you don't want me to try. Oh, why, oh, why, oh, why would I, when you were barely even mine? Oh, why, oh, why, oh, why would I, would I?
Okay, friends, so my boyfriend just texted me that he is on his way home, so I am getting ready to leave the studio and go on vacation. But before that, I think I can still finish up this little whale, so the final little plushie for this challenge, because it's literally just 2 more rounds to finish. And then I will do a little bit of a recap and we will see if I was able to make 200 euros worth of plushies in just 3 days. So let me finish this one up and then we will check in. Okay, friends, so I finished up the final plushie for this challenge, and now let me show you everything that I made in the past 3 days and count them up. So I will try and put a little tracker up here of amounts of plushies made and then inventory worth. So let me start out in order. First of all, we made this orange Brontosaurus, which sells for 22 euros. We also made this big giraffe that I am really obsessed with. I really, really like this pattern. And this one sells for 45 euros. We then made two bees. So first of all, this bigger bee, which sells for 8 euros. And then the little version, which is on a keychain. So this little keychain, which sells for 6 euros. I then went on to make two little popping mushrooms in this red color, and they sell for 6 euros each. And then finally, most of the plushies I made were my little whales, so these little guys, and I also sell them for 6 euros each, just like all of my mini items. So I made this medium blue whale. I made 4 in this dark blue, 2 bright pink little baby whales. I made 5 in this really bright blue color, which I completely sold out of at my spring market, so I'm now stocked up again. And then finally I made 3 in this light turquoise, which I also sold completely out of at my spring market. And this was the final plushie that I made. So in total, in those 3 days, I was able to make 21 plushies, and I'm just shy of 200 euros. So 183 euros was the inventory worth that I was able to make in those 3 days. If I had just a little more time, I definitely could have hit my goal, but I really need to head out of the studio and go on a couple of days off vacation. So thank you guys so much for coming along with me for this little challenge, and I will see you guys again next week for another video. So until then, bye!